accounted for. Turning pain into purpose, a New Orleans native became paralyzed in a diving accident 8 years ago. And as WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor explains, he created a foundation and a first-of-its-kind center where people from all over the world now come to find solace after they experience trauma.
It was a typical day for me on Lake Pontchartrain, hanging out, boating, doing things that I love to do.
The last thing Mark Raymond remembers July 4th, 2016, before the accident, was standing in the back of his friend's boat on Lake Pontchartrain. He dove in immediately, feeling his forehead slam into the sandy lake's bottom. Weeks later, Raymond says he woke up from a medically induced coma and discovered he'd fractured his fifth vertebrae in his neck and could no longer walk or fully use his hands, forever changing his life.
I spent so much of the first year after my accident looking backwards at life, like what I would be doing if I wasn't hurt, opposed to looking forward to it. And I didn't have a sense of belonging. A lot of places that I would go, I felt like a burden.
But eventually, the Xavier University grad says he had to push past the pain.
It took me a while to break that mental barrier that I had and really open up to the possibilities of what life could be like and looking forward to life.
Realizing the lack of resources across New Orleans for those experiencing paralysis, Raymond focused on a goal of helping others with the same challenges.
Most people don't know how large this community is, but according to the CDC, 1 in 3 people in the state of Louisiana have some type of physical, cognitive, or sensory disability.
Starting the Split Second Foundation with a focus on addressing the needs of people with disabilities. In 2021, he also opened this place, Split Second Fitness in Gentilly. It's the first of its kind in the Gulf South.
We really wanted to create an environment that was conducive and gave people a sense of belonging, right? Especially after some type of traumatic situation. And so painting the walls blue and green and writing a couple sayings and having the right energy and having the right staff has really, I think, done that effectively.
Providing a place where people with disabilities can work out and get mental health services.
A lot of times in this, people just don't know where to turn. Whether it's a veteran, whether it's, somebody who was involved in a car accident, we just want to give all of those people a place that they could feel home, a place where they can get connected to resources, get questions answered.
Raymond says his hope is to help as many people with these types of disabilities as possible, while encouraging everyone to press forward during challenging times, something he reminds himself of following the accident.
I do feel like I'm living in my purpose, and I feel like Split Second Foundation is providing so much to families. And it's even on days that I feel down, I come in here and I'm hearing from 4 different people how great this place is and how much they love it and how they wish they had known about it sooner.
And there has been such an overwhelming response to Raymond's fitness center that he is looking to expand into a statewide program. Raymond is also breaking ground soon on a bigger Split Second Fitness Center that will open soon in New Orleans East.